You didn't build your business to babysit, micromanage, or hire warm bodies just to fill seats. You built it to create something meaningful. But here's the truth that most entrepreneurs miss. Your people are your greatest asset. And if you're not treating them that way, you're leaving money, energy, and opportunity on the table. Welcome to Female Founder Unplugged, the show where we cut through the noise and have a real, raw conversation about what it takes to build and scale a successful business as a female entrepreneur. I'm Lindsay White, people strategy expert, leadership coach, and fellow founder. And I know firsthand the challenges of scaling sustainably and staying connected to your passion along the way. This podcast is for ambitious women just like you, seasoned founders and CEOs navigating the challenges of leadership, team building, and sustainable growth. In each episode, we'll dive into those topics that are most important to you as a female founder. You'll hear honest, no BS conversations about building, growing, and leading a team and culture so that you can grow without losing yourself in the process. Because let's be real, entrepreneurship can feel isolating, and leadership doesn't come with a roadmap. If you've ever struggled with the pressure of running a business, felt overwhelmed by growing your team, or wondered, how do I scale without sacrificing my vision and my purpose, you're in the right place. Let's get unplugged. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of the Female Founder Unplugged. I'm super excited to have you here with me today. We are talking today about one of the greatest assets in your business, your people, and why they add so much value. And you, if you've listened to me for any length of time, you know that I always talk about that your people create all the value in your business. They really do. Whether you provide a service, whether you provide a product, even if you're an AI business. In fact, I would argue that if you are an AI, you know that your people are the greatest asset because actually there's a war on talent in that space. It truly is about the human capital. It's about the talented individuals that bring their skills and experience to our organizations that actually help us make that vision that we have, that business plan we work so hard on, a reality. But here's the trick. You didn't build your business to become a micromanager or a taskmaster, right? You built it to create something that is super impactful. You have a vision. That's what makes you a founder. You know that there's something that could grow beyond just yourself and what you do and what you contribute. But you have to really embrace the concept that you got to change how you lead. Because in order to get those incredibly valuable people to deliver their very best in your organization and give you their all, not just some, not just a little, but all, you have to start treating your team like the incredibly valuable asset that they are. You're never going to reach the freedom, the flexibility, the growth, or the impact you dreamed about. The reason you started the damn thing in the first place, if you aren't capable and strategic in your approach to leveraging your talent. It's just that simple. And I know that lots of people would love to argue with me. So totally come for me if you want. But I firmly and foundationally believe, and I've seen it over and over again in big businesses and small ones, it really is the people that make the dream real. And that includes you, but it includes everybody who works for you. And what we have in this idea of the entrepreneur is this myth of the self-made, right? Doing it all, wearing all the hats, never asking for help, fierce independence, totally driven. And that mindset is what gets us to start our business. I mean, that's how we bootstrap it out. I'm with you. I'm living there, totally done the same thing. But the reality is it will absolutely block you from scaling. So this myth of the self-made entrepreneur is not real. We're totally busting it here today. Real business, lasting business, impactful and profitable businesses are built by teams. Period. Your growth isn't about you doing more. It's actually about you leading better. There is a turning point in every business where it can't just be about the founder any longer. If you want to scale. Now, let me just be clear. If you are very confident and comfortable, and I know people that have made beautiful businesses where they are at the center of it, they have some limited support to help them do some things, right? They've got the bookkeeper, they've got the VA, maybe they even have an OBM that's running some things. They have people helping them with strategic activities or project-oriented things. And that is super cool. But ultimately, if you want your business to scale in a truly meaningful way, it really is going to get to be beyond your capability to deliver all the things. You can't be the smartest person in the room all the time because you're great at what you do. You had the vision, you developed the product, you created the service, you have the expertise. And then pretty quickly, you're going to need some different expertise to help you to do the things that you aren't any good at. Because we can't be good at everything. Let's be honest here, people, right? So what becomes really important is this concept that people are the product. Even if you sell a service. Now, let me explain. This is just simply about your team not only delivering the work, okay, not just executing deliverables. They drive client relationships. They solve problems. They create experiences. They actually identify and bring data and business insights to you. And most importantly, they deliver on your brand's promise, right? And they work together to create the reality of what you deliver. Their energy, their ideas, and their values are your business. And the sooner we can wrap our heads around that as founders, that we need to engage with our team in a deeply meaningful way, and we need to lead differently, the better off we are and the faster we can grow. So if you're still viewing the people in your business as a cost center, as an expense line, as something that is a needs must, instead of as value creators, you're playing small. This is why I focus so heavily on people strategy with my clients and particularly in my LPC accelerator, because it is the lever that is absolutely instrumental that you pull, and that you pull at the right time, and that you pull very strategically. And having a people strategy so that you can align the talent with your business plan so that you know what does it need to look like 1 year, 3 year, 5 years. That is what grows a business in such a beautiful, meaningful, but also dramatically profitable way. So let me give you an example because I think stories here are so important. I work with a founder right now who has had a very successful business. That's what I work with. Like all of the people that I work with, all of the founders, all have a great, what we would think of in that startup space as a proven business, right? We have a proven concept. And this founder in particular has really been stuck in the six-figure space for a while now. And the truth is, it's totally burning her out. She is really and has been stuck in that micromanaging space, right? She's really being a taskmaster. She is managing the tasks, not leading the people. And that is leading her to work harder and harder, but still feel like she's really spinning her wheels. And it's frustrating and it's overwhelming and it's anxiety inducing. And when I started working with her, one of the first things we talked about is that she's so frustrated that no one owns it, right? She doesn't feel like there's enough accountability on her team, that no one gets it the way that she does. And I think that that's true for a lot of us. I think we do get into this phase where perhaps we feel like, we look around and we think we're the only one that gets the vision. And what we did with this particular client is we really took a big step back we went all the way back and looked at, okay, what is her vision? And why is that important? Like, let's get reconnected to that. Because, man, it is easy when you are bootstrapping it and you are trying to make it work to get far removed from that vision, that thing that you are so passionate about. So we really got clear again on what's the vision and why is that important? What's the purpose there? What's the mission? What are we trying to change in the world? What is the difference, the impact we want to make?
This is exactly the kind of work we do in the LPC Accelerator program because, of course, the L stands for leadership. And if we're not working on ourselves as a leader, if we're not preparing ourselves to lead at that next level, to be the CEO in our own business, we are not doing our business any favors. So if you are ready to do this work and you are ready for a program where you get to do some one-on-one, have some great strategies, find the right tools, and be a part of the right community, the LPC Accelerator might be the right program for you. Registration is open now. You can check out all of the great details in the link below and send me a DM if you have any questions.
And what are the values? What are the things that we as founders bring to the business that make it what it is? Why do we want that? Why is that important? How does that show up? What are the behaviors? Man, we can just get so disconnected from that. And it was so important to this founder that we paused for a few hours and we just really got clear and connected to that stuff again. And then what we did is really looked at what's her business plan? What is she trying to create? Again, most of us have a beautiful business plan and we kind of forget about it. Or we build something and maybe it's 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, but we don't kind of revisit that. So we get to the 18-month mark and we're like, oh, dang, blew through that 12-month marker. We got to make sure that it still makes sense and that it is absolutely connected to the vision and the mission. Because if it's not, then what are we doing? Now, with this business owner, she was really clear. She knew exactly what she wanted to create. She knew exactly the impact she wanted to have. She knew exactly the values. And when we really got granular with some of these pieces and we really looked at how they connected to her business plan, man, there were some really beautiful things started to stand out. So then with our people strategy work, we could look at what does her team look like today? What's working and what's not? What are the things that are going on? What are the roles that we're working with? What are the opportunities? What is it that she needs to be doing? What are the things that are on her plate now that shouldn't be? What are the things that she needs to be doing to move the business forward strategically? And we were really able to redesign her org chart in a truly meaningful way so that it made sense. And it had real versions. It had phases. So what does the org chart look like today? Who are the people on the team today? What are they doing? What are we missing? What does it need to look like, again, in 12 months? What does it need to look like in 36 months? What does it need to look in 5 years? And we can really layer that together. Now, is it always going to look the same? No, of course it's not, because we got to make sure that we're nimble enough to move. But what that does, when we can look at the team and the strategy and we can really visualize it, it gets us out of our head. It clarifies so many things. We start to think about what is the talent we need and who do we have on the team today and how do they fit? Or maybe where do they not fit, right? And we can think about the roles. What are the accountabilities and who do we need? It comes back to our values. We want people on the team that really take high ownership of what they do. Okay. So what does that mean in terms of how they're going to execute in that role? And we could start to think about implementing accountability structures and performance measures. What does success look like? And it really starts to shift how this founder communicated the value of what they do to her team and how she started to really lean into her leadership of these incredibly valuable people. And within a pretty short time, like less than a year, she really started to scale up from multiple 6 towards multiple 7. It gave her an opportunity to build a team that she deeply, deeply trusted. They knew they were so aligned that she knew they could execute without her. And that's when she got some of that freedom and flexibility that we all start our business for. I think every one of us says, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start my own business for freedom and flexibility. Well, guess what? You have the freedom to work whenever you want and the flexibility to work your 80 hours in your week whenever you want to work them. Now, this business owner with her people strategy in place, and we're just leveraging it. She gets to take Friday off. She actually enjoys her business again instead of thinking about burning it to the ground. Why? Because she stopped doing everything and started leading like a CEO. This is the boss move, my friends, is actually articulating a people strategy that's deeply connected to your vision, mission, and values, and is also strategically connected to your business plan, because now what you're doing is taking that incredibly talented team you have, connecting them right through to the goals you want to achieve, and you get it firing on all cylinders. The key, you can't have a high performing team unless you're ready to be a high performing leader. Okay, I know you're probably asking, holy smokes, Lindsay, that's a lot. What are the 5 things that I can do right now to start leading to really maximize this value? So let me lay it on you. Number 1, you need to shift your mindset. Your job is not to do the work anymore. Congratulations, you got an upgrade. Your job is to lead the people who deliver the great work. Okay. Now, if you don't have the right people, that's a different podcast episode. We'll do that one later. But you are not in charge of delivering the work anymore. And the sooner that you can adjust your mindset, that you are the CEO and that requires different things of you, the better off you are. Number 2, you need to audit for the ROI. Who is it on your team that is driving outcomes, right? Who is unclear or just lacking that definition? Who's underutilized? Like, who do you have on your team that has an incredible skill set, but you've been owning the work, so they're not able to deliver? And then, my friend, you need to get out of the way. You need to create the clarity. You need to define the outcomes, and then you need to let the horses run. Number 3, you need to design for ownership. What do I mean here? Well, you need to create really clear roles with clear definitions of success. Like, what does it mean to achieve in this position? What are the outcomes you're looking for? If you can, you need to define some KPIs, right? And I know that we toss around sort of this alphabet soup of stuff, but really it is about what does it look like for them to perform? And then you need to communicate and create systems that build value, not dependency. And one of the most important things that you can do is start enabling really great feedback in your organization. What's going well? What's getting in the way? And how do you help them clear those roadblocks? That's your job as a leader. Number 4, you need to invest in development. First of all, your own. My friend, if you're struggling in elevating your leadership, you need a coach. That's number 1 on your to-do list. It is not a luxury. It's an investment, because if you're not at peak performance, there is no way your team will be. And the leadership doesn't stop with you. Everyone in your business should consider themselves a leader. They lead themselves. They lead their own person first. So you need to grow your team, not just your revenue. And you need to think, again, very strategically about how you're reinvesting in those people. So it could be as simple as sending them an opportunity to go on a webinar, giving them the space to do some of their own exploration and learning. Maybe you have some great books that you want to share or some great people to follow, but you need to invest in development, and it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be expensive. Number 5, You need to celebrate and connect. Make sure that your people know how they're contributing to your mission. Make sure that they feel dialed in with your vision, that they see themselves in what you're creating, because that is so important to them understanding that what they do really is valuable. We all want that. We all want to feel like we deliver valuable work. We all want to feel like we're part of something bigger. And your job is to tell the story in such a way that they can feel it, that they can taste it, that they can sense it. And then, of course, you need to celebrate, because recognition fuels retention. We all want to feel seen, heard, respected, understood. And we all want to feel like when we've done a good job that somebody sees that, right? So also in this, make sure that you're doing the recognition the way they want, not the way you want. So maybe you're one of those people that wants to have the pizza party and wants the certificate of recognition. That's super cool for you. But make sure you know what your people want. And the easiest way to do that, just ask them. Because for some of us, what we want is just a quiet lunch with the boss. Or if we're in a virtual space, we just want, time for our boss to jump on a Zoom with us and just say, hey, I really appreciated the work you did. And here's why. Be specific with people, not only about what they're doing well, but of course, when they're not performing. But recognition is going to fuel the human capital in your business. It's what we all get up in the morning for. So if you're nodding your head thinking, I need this. This is the shift. This is the time to stop spinning my wheels here. I really need to focus on this as the most senior leader in my business. What I've got for you is a free guide, which is 5 questions to shift from helper to high impact leader. What this is going to do is it's going to help you actually get into the mindset so you can stop being a doer. So you can stop the micromanaging, stop being the taskmaster, and really get into that space of performance in your leadership. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in the show notes for you. And I want to say, if you're really ready to build your team, if you are really positioned for growth, and you want to do that in a way that adds real value without draining your energy, connect with me and let's talk about my LPC Accelerator. This program is all about building your leadership, creating the people strategy you need so that you can accelerate growth, and of course, creating a culture of performance in your business so that the most valuable people, the humans, feel really, really engaged. Because here's the deal, my friends. You can't scale your business until you scale your own leadership. It really starts with you, and it starts with really, truly valuing the people and the contribution they make to your business every single day, so that they continue to do that. My friends, thank you for listening today. And until next time, lead with heart, grow with purpose, and stay high voltage.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Female Founder Unplugged. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Connect with me on Instagram at High Volt Leadership and send me your questions or let me know your biggest takeaway. Looking for more strategies on scaling your business, building a powerhouse team, or leading with confidence? Head over to highvoltageleadership.ca or follow me on LinkedIn for exclusive content, resources, and special offers just for listeners. Until next time, keep leading, keep learning, and remember, the real magic happens when you're unplugged.